Hello, hello, hello. How we doing, my friends? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a 24 hours it has been. Always crazy, always crazy. Not totally unexpected, but a crazy 24 hours. As, of course, things have gone mad with United and everything that has gone on. So yeah, yesterday we left it. Where did we leave it yesterday? We left it that Ederson had just kind of fallen through. We had just gotten this report from Fabrizio Romano that Ederson had fallen through. And then I left and I was off doing other things a little bit after that, trying to figure out what the hell happens now. And through the afternoon, I tried to post some updates, some tweets, some things like that with regards to my understanding of the situation, my understanding of what would happen next. I made some lighthearted jokes. Some people like, some people don't. I think some people believe I need to be serious all the time, but that's certainly not me. Don't have that. I don't have that in me. But it was certainly kind of chaotic. I mean, really chaotic. In fact, at the end of the day, when you think it all through, the Ederson situation. Here we are, 24 hours and some later, and it's still bizarre. It's still crazy. We've got no announcement for Santos, but there's no problem there, by the way. There's no problem there. I just want to be clear in mentioning that. I strongly believe personally they want resolution on this situation before announcing, get the bad news out of the way, get the chaos out of the way, get things out of the way, and then bring in the good, bring in the positives, bring in what we want to talk about, bring in what the heck happens next. And we get a clean start to the window. It's almost like we never signed Ederson, and it was Santos we agreed upon earlier, and we're back to square one, where the only thing we've actually got done is Darlow since the beginning of June, since the end of May. So it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, the whole situation, and I do want to kind of talk it through here for a minute. Because this isn't good news, is the thing I gotta say about all of this. This is certainly not good news. It's been really funny now looking at the whole discussion post Ederson deal essentially collapsing, but not yet collapsed. And it's been a day. And you know what? It hasn't been that easy to actually figure out how we replace him in our plans. It hasn't been that easy. People can't reach any sort of consensus. Ederson, for better or worse, was supposed to be this kind of experienced box-to-box all-round player who had, high athletic flooring, carries well, passes well, crashes the box. Just an all-rounder that can do a variety of different things. And then without him in the picture, you start to actually look at what we can do and you go, shoot. Wait, hold on a sec. This was actually a good target, because you start to look at all the alternatives and you go, well, hold on a second. You look at some of these names discussed here. Carlos Baleba, great. Nothing like Ederson. Athlete, can't pass the ball for crap. Had a really poor season. Struggles, moving the ball through the lines. Totally different player to Ederson. And we have Santos now. So what are you going to do? Play Baleba and Santos? Well, Baleba's going to cost you £70 million. And then why? To be on the bench? That was not the idea necessarily there. This was also where it kind of goes off the rails. João Gomes, he's more similar to Ederson, but certainly doesn't have the athletic profile of him. He's Premier League experienced. He's been a part of a 2. He plays in sort of a 6-8 either kind of role. He's quite good in those positions. He can pass, he can carry. I've seen him deal with a lot of physical Premier League midfielders. He's also about 4 inches shorter. Not good in the air, doesn't eat up ground as well over large distances. That gives you a little bit of trouble. You take Buadi in this list here. Maybe potentially the best player on this list as potential future star, but that is a pure 6 in Buadi. Shielder, screener, tall, athletic, great player that I would love United to have, but we just got Santos. And they're not exactly a fit there unless you're dropping Kobbie Mainoo. Then you go to Kone, who, once again, we had absolutely 0 links with ahead of the window. We have absolutely 0 real links with as of now. It's 90% a bunch of stuff coming out of Italy. No one serious has commented on it. In fact, the only thing we got overnight from the English press is that he's not a target. And I think still that 90% of people saying his name had no idea who he was a month ago. Just a little bit of history on Manu Kone. He's been on the radar of both of Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and United for years and has had multiple deals collapse as they were actually moving towards deals on multiple occasions for different reasons prior to moving from Mönchengladbach to Roma. So this is one I think is huge cope from people, and World Cup hype. I guarantee people did not watch him out there in Serie A. Suddenly, don't buy Serie A midfielders disappears. Suddenly, don't buy Bundesliga midfielders disappears. This is Ederson with French PR. And I'll 100% support him if we're going to sign him, because I supported the signing of Ederson up until the moment it's not happening. But this is literally Ederson with French PR. That's the reality of it. It's just some people like it more because of that, and that's pretty much it. But it is a problem. It is a problem we have now. Let's just talk through what's actually gone on here. I made a short video last night to try to summarize the situation around Ederson and what happened. And it's kind of crazy because even today, you get into a debate of, was Ederson ever actually in England at all? Here's what happened. I kind of summarized this yesterday, but there was a concern with his medical when he did that in the US with the Brazilian team. United believed that there was some issue in there. This is my understanding anyway. There was an issue there.
All of a sudden now.
Yeah, just like Mateus Yamal. Suddenly he's the Kone is amazing, the solution to all of our problems. There was one other donation. Let me just get to that. Is it the same Manchester United who gets the Champions League money and then gives Fred and Dalot to Mourinho? Do you see any difference from the past to now? Absolutely different. And we'll talk about the situation here and how this happened, okay? Because there are problems that we have. And it's also about attributing blame so simply isn't there. Is just sort of a silly thing to do. There's been a lot of chaos this window, and there's been quite a few things that are bad luck. What United are doing isn't bad, but we'll talk it through. And there's a lot of stuff that's unfortunately just out of their control. But essentially, the belief is Ederson's knee is messed up. Okay? That's it. Ederson's knee is messed up. That's all. That's where we've got it. Okay? That's what we understand. Ederson's knee is messed up. And it was unknown. and it was not measured before until Ederson arrived, got a medical done, and suddenly it's shown up, okay? And there seems to be a bit of dispute here where Ederson and Atalanta are saying that United are saying he's injured while they're saying he's not. Covered this a little bit yesterday, but
one of the most damaging things Alexei Lalbridge have done is directing a large audience into feeding into single season / moment hype, either negatively, Baleba, or positively, everyone he likes.
Right. Agreed. Remember, Ederson was a bad signing, but it was also wrong for United to pull out of the signing based on an injury at the same time and doing their due diligence. But it would have been wrong to push through the injury as well. So you can't win in that respect. His knee is messed up. Like that's essentially what the dispute is over. Atalanta and Ederson's side say it's not. United say it is my understanding, and they don't want to progress with the deal from there. Okay, that seems to be exactly what's going on, and that's pretty much it. They don't want to progress with the deal on that basis. They didn't know. There was no evidence of it. The feeling is perhaps that it was covered up by Atalanta, not playing him in the final few games of the season or something like that. Not the first time. Atalanta did this with Rasmus Højlund, sent him over with a back issue that they did not disclose.
First, we'll know if we owe Ineos an apology.
Exactly. But there's no reason to get all angry now either. Well, we can cast full judgment on September 1st, all of us, at that point in time. So that's where we're at. And here's the thing, where probably in this instance, United are a bit gun shy of taking a risk with someone like Ederson in this injury. 2 years ago, they signed Lenny Yoro, 70 million, 62 million pounds, something like that. He came in, he had a spot in his foot, a potential injury. It was like a hairline injury. They had to make a choice. Do we cancel the deal? Do we sign him and do the surgery? Do we let it heal on its own, do some normal play, but there's risk involved because it's a weakened spot? What happened? I was in person. I was there in Los Angeles when his foot broke in preseason. They went ahead with the signing anyway, obviously, but Lenny Yoro was 7 years younger than Ederson, viewed as a much bigger prospect, and it was still a concern to them at the time, given the money spent and all of that. But I think they were at a point where they couldn't afford to back out of the deal at that point, and it was too complicated to do so, and it would have been a real problem to back out at that point. But I know that there's a feeling that
when Santos will be announced, James.
We don't, but I would suspect Sunday or Monday. Probably maybe Sunday or Monday. Like I said, I think they'll want to sort this out first. They had that situation with Lenny, 9 years younger. Was he 18 years old? No, he was 19. 8 years younger, maybe. So quite a bit younger, higher potential. They went through it anyway. They still believe that was part of what set up his career to struggle a bit coming in to United. And obviously they didn't want to take that kind of risk with Ederson. With something that he's older, it could be recurring. Remember, we also only signed Ederson as a 4-year contract, not even a 5+1. So it was already like cost and, looking at it like, all right, we got to balance all of this. This is not a huge forever signing or anything like that. So yeah, makes a big difference in that respect. So I think clearly they've decided not to do it. We haven't had clarity yet, but it was funny. I saw Fabrizio say that he's left England. He's gone back at this point already. BBC yesterday reported that Ederson was still in the US. Edu Borges said he's not in it. He was never in England. I heard 3 different things yesterday. It is sort of chaotic and crazy. And I think that obviously you have everybody trying to protect themselves in their positions. Like I said about the D. Jamil thing, look, It's not like he obviously had a very strong report on something, which is that United had a big concern with that first medical and decided not to go through it. But the problem with, like I said before, with the reporting of it, no mention of the injury. It's just stated by him in his reports and claims later that United fully decided not to sign him after that. And no mention of injury, no mention of why. Just says they're trying to protect themselves legally. But I think that that's a very dangerous thing to do, and I think a lot of people are jockeying to protect themselves. I think on Ederson and his side, they have to claim that he's totally fit. Because obviously they'll still be looking for a new deal or a new contract or something like that. And yeah, it's complicated. I think it's going to take a little bit of a while to hear from it. But here's the problem, right? United didn't do anything wrong on this deal. Very clearly, someone tried to pull a fast one on an injury. They did their due diligence. Life goes on. There's still a lot of time in the window. What's important is what comes next. I think what is encouraging to me, there are a few things that are very encouraging to me that haven't worked out. And on their own, they don't make it a successful window. Of course not. Because a successful window is one where we end up getting the players that we need. And sometimes you run into bad luck. You deal with those barriers. You learn to adapt. You learn to be agile and be able to dance around and move to different things and find different things and all of that. But what's going to matter is what happens next. But the two things they did that to me were encouraging were, number one, not giving the wages to Mateus Fernandes and bending to that kind of pressure. And number two, if they had doubts on this deal because of medical issues, backing out of it. Well done. Yeah, it would have been easy for them to push through and say, no, there are no issues. His health is fine. Atalanta says it. Ederson says it. His agent says it. It would have been very easy for them to just push ahead with the deal and say, no, everything's fine. He's fully fit. We're signing the player. All good. No drama. No noise, no one giving them a hard time. They could have easily just pushed ahead with it. But the decision that they've made opens them up to significantly more criticism. But it's the right one. It's the right one. This is what we're supposed to do. They've opened themselves up to way, way, way more criticism by walking away from this deal, because now you have people making shit up like there was nothing to do with the medical and injury. That's not true, man. They did the medical in the US, and that's when this started. Everything was all set before that. There was no problem. There was no hint of a problem until he had that medical in the US, and they said, hold on a second, something's wrong. So this wasn't could they have accelerated the Santos plans because they knew about the doubts on Ederson? Totally. But they didn't just decide not to sign the player overnight. They didn't change their mind 2 weeks later. They've been trying to sign Ederson for a year and a half. He's been a serious target. They've watched him. They've known him recruitment-wise. They were sure on this target. That's why they went for him first and got it done at a price that they were very happy with. Correct. There was reports coming out of the Brazilian media right after the first medical that something was up. And there was some dispute between United and Brazil over it. So, no, there's a lot of conspiracies that are, to me, are all completely designed to just try and create more drama and more bullshit that we don't need in this community. We really don't. We just don't need it. We don't need it. United obviously kept it quiet. United obviously didn't say anything about it right off the bat. That's good, but they did the right thing in the end, and that was to back out of the deal. Would they have preferred, likely, that it didn't leak, that they got the player for that second medical and then they called it off? Sure.
Our fan base is the notion that a window is automatically a failure if we don't get our first targets. Correct. So do you just want boards to give up once we miss then?
Right. And the thing about it people don't always get is that most clubs don't get their first targets. I mean, you look at Madrid's window, their first target's Enzo Fernandez. They might end up signing nobody. Look at who they did sign. Not players I'd be jealous of. They failed on a ton of their top targets. They failed for 2 years to sign Mbappe, when he was their top target. They failed to sign Haaland. It's very normal to move down your list. So That's the Ederson situation. I agree. Let's move on. United are doing the right thing. I think they've done the right thing. And what's important, of course, is what comes next. And just sort of settling on that. Ederson has been informed he needs to return to Atalanta. United have pulled out following medical checks, reportedly raising concerns over his right knee. So that's the issue. Insist he's fit, etc., blah, blah, blah. Now, here's what I want to talk about first is the alternatives at this point in time. This is the most important thing here. You can't fail something that's in progress. You can't fail things that are in progress. That's the thing that people also need to understand. We haven't failed anything. We're in progress, and it is early. So I went back to the list that I made early on because it was very accurate, all things considered. Let's move back through to here and go to the top list and all of that. So midfielder number 1, first target was Elliot Anderson. We kind of know that. Presently believed City. He's gone. Tonali, someone that they liked, but he's gone as well. Tchouaméni, United would be willing to pay if he will part, and if the player will sign a new contract and stay. Main concern is whether Madrid will part, and if the player will sign a new contract and stay. He signed a new contract. Out of our control, not worth the money. Wharton, the problem is that, again, given his price and his pairing with Kobbie Mainoo, not necessarily viewed as the right fit. But you can see that everything I've laid out here, May the 4th, has pretty much happened since then. Then we went to our other serious targets. We wanted 2 or 3 of these players to come in. Carlos Baleba. Now, I want to come back to that one because he remains on obviously some subject of discussion. João Gomes, consistently watched as a second or third squad signing. We looked at him in January. Ederson, highly admired, considered last year at his most available price. Now we tried to sign him. Now it's off. Mateus Fernandes, well liked and watched. Price expected to be more reasonable if West Ham go down. Well, it was not more reasonable anyway due to the change in ownership that happened over there at West Ham, but we tried here and didn't get it done. Price went to absurd numbers. Alex Scott remains a very serious target for United and one really liked. Other names, Buwadi, Sadiki, Adams, Kamavinga. So going back to this list and what I know at the least, doesn't mean there aren't more names. Santos isn't on here. Santos was a name that was from the previous summer that just wasn't on anybody's radar, even though it should have been. As a long-term target if he became available, and he became available. So clearly this is not an exhaustive list, but we have tried for almost every player on here. So if you look at where we are today, in January, these 3 players were who we tried to sign. In January of this year, these 3 players we put inquiries in for. Not necessarily for all of them, but to look for one of them. João Gomes was believed to be available potentially, but then Wolves decided too expensive. They were fighting relegation. He was going to stay and be sold at the end of the season. So that was off. Then he was on his way to Atletico. And now that deal is off. So that remains a serious option there. Baleba. Now, we had pretty strong interest in Baleba, reported by myself, by Athletic, otherwise, all the way through like March or April, and then suddenly it just... And I was told, we're not pursuing him. And that was true. We haven't pursued him at all. We haven't done anything in 6 weeks on Carlos Baleba. He is available for around 70 million, as far as I understand it, although that was before Mateus Fernandes was sold, and who knows with Brighton. I suspected, personally, that we moved away from Baleba at the same time as we felt we could get Ederson, because he was viewed as a, similar athletically, covering ground, half the price. So right now I'm questioning, do we go back for one of these 2? Gomes represents a player that we viewed in a similar bracket and a similar price, which would still leave money for a third big signing or more expensive signing in that regard, while Baleba would probably have to replace the big signing in terms of price, has a lot more risk involved with it as well. Those are 2 options. Obviously, the other name that continues to be mentioned out there is this Manu Kone, but as of yet, I don't have him on my list, that doesn't mean he isn't on our list. I'm just saying I don't have him on my list. I don't have him as somebody that we were actively pursuing ahead of this summer. I still haven't heard anything on him myself. Doesn't mean we're not. Doesn't mean he's not a subject of interest. I never claim to know everything, nor do I think I know everything at all. So there's some reports out there talking about him. I'm not sure what to take from them. There's this one from Edu Borges, but I think I don't know, outside of South America, I'm not so sure about his reporting as accurate. He says it's Manu, Kone, Alex Scott, and Buwadi. Well, those two names that are on our list. Kone, I don't know. In this piece from the MEN, but specifically from Tyrone Marshall, who does have good information, you can't see the whole thing in here. However, in that article, he stated that Kone was not someone United would be looking to sign this summer. Is not someone that they're pursuing. So we have, I haven't done anything with the Kone report, particularly in terms of where it's at now, because we have a pretty much nothing of solid note about whether he is or isn't a target. There's definitely a lot more noise about João Gomes. We know about Alex Scott. We know about Buwadi being watched. These have all been mentioned by The Athletic
Gomes
and others.
Said so in 2022.
That was 4 years ago, my friend. That was 4 years ago. Ekitike was a United fan. He ended up at Liverpool. It was 4 years ago, man. Do Liverpool want Gomes? I have no idea. You know, if Liverpool want Gomes and he wants to go there, fair enough. But that's 4 years ago. That's 2022 to 2026. It's a long time in the football world. And who knows? Doesn't particularly make much of a difference on that front to me. So we really don't know. We've had more statements that United have been following Buwadi since the beginning of the season and at the World Cup and all of that. Sander Berg is a player to keep on that list as well, because if we go back through the years, the four main targets, there was Ugarte, then Sander Berg, then Ederson, then Santos, then Baleba. Well, we've tried to sign all of those players at one point or another, and who's left is Baleba, Berg, and Baleba and Berg. Yeah, Santos is signed. Ederson is off. Ugarte was signed. Yeah, Baleba and Berg are the two targets from previous years we know were targets at one point that we didn't end up signing. So if I look at it overall, I would say we don't know the direction that the club is going to go. But here's what one would think. If they are going for the most similar profile to Ederson, I have no idea. That's a problem. One of the things that's been said to me that I'm trying to figure out is what is our midfield plan in terms of profiles overall? Because it's been said we want a different mixture of a bunch of different ones. Let's say you were to sign Sander Berg. Well, Sander Berg has nothing to do with Ederson. That is very, very opposite profiles. Now you have in Berg a true 6. In Buwadi, you have a true 6 to go alongside Santos, who again is better sitting as a 6. Well, these signings make sense if you remove one of Bruno or Kavi Menu. But maybe we just want a lot of different profiles in the team. Maybe we just want all of those profiles in the team for the future. And that is one thing that has been said to me is routinely is that there has to be a thinking beyond Bruno being a starter every game. In the long term, we're probably not going to play with a 10. It's not exactly a popular profile. And if you have to play with a 10, then you have a real problem in the long term. You have a real problem in the long term when it comes to replacing Bruno, because it's always going to be someone significantly worse. And then you're stuck with this really unique small profile that is very narrow in scope. So I don't think that... So I can see a world where it doesn't really matter who the other profiles that we sign are. You just get players you like in, good profiles, good players, variety of different things, all have to fit two things. Athletically, have to be decent. That doesn't just mean fast, by the way. Santos is definitely enough of an athlete in that he's very strong in the duel. All of that.
This was a casa pulling a Kalshi, winking face emoji.
A casa pulling a Kalshi. What is that? I don't even know what that means. A house pulling a Kalshi. Someone pulling a bet. I don't know what that means. But anyway, they have to fit the athletic, physical, and technical profiles of that. If I look at the players remaining and I say who makes the most sense to me for United to get, Alex Scott still makes a ton of sense in that respect. Sanderberg is also a bit older, and that's part of the doubts that I have there. Alex Scott still makes a ton of sense. He's still a player viewed as having a top physical flooring. He's one of the highest, what's the word for it? There was a table, which I wish I could show, that I can't find, that someone posted, but Alex Scott was in like the top 2 or 3 under 23s in terms of his sprint speed, distance, and number of sprints, and time and distance spent sprinting as well. And it's not just, he's just a runner. No, he's very, very technically smooth, good on the ball, has a big switch in him, long pass, not as good through the lines forward as Santos, but has that big pass and carry. So I think Alex Scott still makes a load of sense. A load of sense if United can get that done, and it would make sense for him to be a serious target. I also think then that in addition to that, Gomes is probably the most logical for United as a flex profile that can play in a 2 in kind of either position, as the more aggressive player, as the deeper player. He's also Prem proven. He's had no problems dealing with midfields in the Premier League. You know, he's if you've watched him play at Wolves, he's been usually quite impressive and one of the better players. Really, really solid player to have. Still young too. He's in the right age bracket as well to still grow and even improve. Not grow in height, but even improve. The height would be the biggest concern you'd have there. Though people keep talking like Santos and Scott are small. They're not small. They're not huge, but they're not small either. I mean, there's not a ton of giants in the midfield, honestly. But they're certainly not small. Scott has grown even. I would be surprised if he's not over 6 feet at this point. Gomes would be the safe alternative to Ederson. Baleba would be the more expensive, risky one. So you'd have to consider, do they want to, if you don't increase the budget and you go for someone like Baleba, then you're having to take away someone like Scott and end up with like a Baleba Gomes midfield, which to me is underwhelming because there's a lot of risk in that. So it depends. Do they increase the budget for the midfield now? Do they sack off the third signing and say, we don't see a good alternative at the right price? We're going to spend a lot of money on one guy. We'll go get a big signing, like a bigger, more expensive signing like Alex Scott in there. Gives us a different profile to Santos, an option that can play in different positions. And then go fix other issues in the team. But like I said, the size thing is interesting to me because everybody wants a PSG midfield until you say, hey, here's a PSG midfield. And then suddenly everybody goes, wait, I want a tall, big midfield of sprinters who are strong. When I'm going, well, hang on a second. I thought we wanted the PSG midfield, and until you have it, I think people don't know what they want. I understand that. So yeah, it's very confusing. It's very confusing. And then you have to add to it, and here's where I'm thinking as well. I'm wondering, do we go for just one midfielder now, go address the other issues, and come back to a third one later on? Because, of course, earlier this week, United got linked to Nico Williams, the fullback at Forest, and as I heard, there was more contact over the situation around Lewis Hall. Early basic stuff, but they're still exploring that, and it does make me think that we could be kind of pushing on in that kind of direction as well, of maybe we only do one more and then we move on to other things and we move on to other signings and we move on to other positions and targets and all of that kind of stuff. But it is crazy, man. Like this is confusing right now. And where I'm at is I don't blame United's board for the situation that we are in. It is chaos. We are not acting in chaos, but it is chaotic. A lot of setbacks that are out of our control. Ederson's injury, out of our control. West Ham, David Sullivan finally getting the book for things that he did for 20 years. Just out of the blue, the moment they get relegated and then new investment coming in. That's unexpected. A ton of money being pumped into Spurs and them going crazy. Unexpected. Not much you can do about those sort of things. But the reality is that this is, we were talking yesterday or the day before about how United need to get ahead. It's not the current management's fault that we're so behind. That the squad inherited by the end of Ten Hag is and has been the worst in United's the last 25, 30 years. Because it is and it was. Old, overpaid, injured, crap. Top to bottom. The whole thing had to be rebuilt. And there was no money. Bleeding hundreds of millions a year. Thank you very much. It's not their fault, that situation. They're setting out to obviously fix it, to resolve it. But this is why we need to somehow get ahead. Last summer, we weren't able to get ahead, right? We fixed a bunch of issues. But we obviously weren't able to get ahead. And we fixed them well. We got a great keeper. We got a great striker and 2 great forwards. That's really, really good. We went with the route of getting really good signings in instead of numbers in the door. I think most of us would have agreed it was worth it, given that we had 1 game a week pretty much all last season, if even 1 game a week. It was worth it. But we have to get ahead of it now. And it's hard. It's hard to get ahead of it, but we have to somehow get ahead. We have to, at some point here, be able to go big. Where we can account for. Right now, the margins are so thin, right? That's why this looks bad, because this is the reality of our situation. We need, like, inexcusably, United need a minimum of 4 near starting level players, right? Just to get by for next season with the number of games that we have. We have to get a left-sided player because we don't have enough. Fullback or winger. We have to get one that is capable of starting a number of games, maybe 30 games. Has to be that level. And what level is that? Capable of starting 30 games for a team that aims to be in the top 4 in Champions League at the minimum. That's a high level. We have to get 3 midfielders, all who are capable of starting 30, 40 games in Champions League and at a high level. That's just to start. That's just to give us the bare minimum of what we have to do. And that's just the world we find ourselves in. That's just the reality of everything that's happened over the last 15 years and where we've ended up. That's the bare minimum that has to happen. I think they'll get it done, but ideally, we get too ahead of that. Because here's the problem we now face. I'm not going to say there's no value in the market. I'm not going to say that because that's whatever, right? But there are summers and windows where you go, you know what? Shit's out of our control. Signings that are actually good enough We can't just conjure them out of thin air. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes we just can't get a player of requisite quality, and we can either go and waste the money, fill up a squad spot, pay the wages, do all of that holds us in the future, or we say, fine, we sack off that signing for this year and we deal with it later, but we have the ability to because we're not desperate. You look at Liverpool 3 summers ago, they spent nothing. The only person they brought in was Chiesa, right? Something like that, and a keeper. Was it Chiesa and Marmadashvili? I don't remember who the hell it was. It was like nothing. They said, we just don't see signings that suit what we need. They won the league. They won the league because they were in a position to do that, where circumstances were out of their control, market was out of their control, costs out of their control, the types of players available out of their control, and they just said, fine, we can't do it. We'll just not. And then the next summer they went huge. Now they messed it up, but that's neither here nor there. We have to get ourselves into that position. We have to get ourselves into that position. There's no doubt about it. We all know we need to be there. We're not there yet. And it obviously leaves us in a ton of pressure, right? Yeah, it was 2 summers ago. It leaves us under pressure in a situation where we're going, every setback is a big problem here. You know, if the Ederson thing fell through, we need to be in a position where we're not forced into signing someone we don't like just because we need numbers. That sucks, man. That's how we end up in this position again. That's how you end up with 100 million on Antony because we don't have a right winger. That's how you end up with 60 million and 350,000 on Casemiro because we don't have anybody. This isn't me saying we shouldn't sign players this summer. It's the opposite. I'm saying that we have to get ahead. You know, we have to, because these are the things that happen and they're out of our control and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, there's nothing we can do about some of these issues, and they didn't mess them up, but they are responsible for making sure by the end of this window that we have a serious club, that we have a serious team that is able to compete in the competitions we need to compete for the minimum we need to achieve, which is not our goal is top 4, but that is the minimum viable result. The minimum viable result is that we're still in the top 4, that we make some deep runs through the cups and the Champions League, and we're there. So, yes, the market has been out of their control. Somehow by the end of this summer, we have to get ourselves a little bit ahead. So they've got to react pretty strongly now. I think we're past the point. You know, I was feeling good a week ago. I was like, holy shit. We got Santos done. We got Darlow done. Good thing. Good stuff. We got Santos done. We got Darlow done. Backup keeper. We needed it. I'm no world would I ever want to see Altay Bayindir or Onana step on the pitch for us again. So even though that was a little thing, I think it was a good signing, and I'm happy that we did it. But I thought we had Ederson, Santos, Darlow in the bag. Boom, we've got 2 good midfielders. Get that one more big midfielder, and we can go, our midfield is good. We've got numbers. We've got options. We're feeling good. We can move on to one of those fullbacks. The Ederson thing falling through is a bummer. And I'm not panicking, and I'm not, instantly going, you suck, you blew it, you screwed this up the minute that there's a setback or something like that, because I think that's childish. But, it does hurt us. It does hurt us. It is a problem. The question is, how do we react to it? United are not to blame for the Ederson deal falling through. In fact, it is a sign of smart decision-making that it did fall through. What they are responsible for is how they react to it, right? And this is a truth of life out there, right? Everybody's heard it. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control the way that you react to it. you can. It's not your fault every time something goes wrong in life. But what you do next is important. And that's where I'm at with United. I don't blame them for what happened. When the Mateus deal fell through, bam, they got a Santos thing sorted out. The Ederson thing has fallen through. Okay, what is your next action that is going to resolve this? What is your next thing that is going to resolve this? That's all. And how they deal with that, that's what I'll judge them on. Not something out of their control happening. That's crazy. That's silly. What do they do next? So that's what I'm interested in. And for my money, if you had to ask me right now, not betting, but if you had to ask me right now, what would I expect comes next? I think that Gomes and Scott are the two most viable players. It would be the most viable players in their mind. I don't know that means we're going to sign them. I don't think there's enough of a gap between a whole bunch of different players to say for sure that that's going to happen, you know? But that would be my initial inclination, just based on prior information, that Gomes and Scott would be the two we go for. There are obviously alternatives. There are obviously other names. There's a whole list of players that we just went through, coming back through them again. I did want to look and kind of compare and see what would be the mixture of profiles. This is just stats. I know some people get real uptight about stats, and when you start comparing players and their stats and things like that, you know, in terms of what they do. But this would be, for example, if you were to sign Santos, Scott, and Gomes, okay? You get the forward passing, you get the carrying. I think Scott does a lot of stuff you don't quite see on the stat sheet, which is why stats aren't everything. But I do think you get a pretty decent mixture of profiles in here. 22, 22, 25. Scott, I think, has the highest ceiling athletically, and all of that as well. If I break down the further charts, you'll see Santos is great in the short pass. Scott is great in the long pass. Gomes is kind of good at everything. He's in the middle on kind of everything. You'll see differences there. There's other players you could add in. You know, if you throw in Baleba there, you're going for really a dueling possession winner who offers very little in possession. That's why, for me, it's a bigger risk. If you go for other names, Noah Sadiki, Sunderland, you're going for a potentially similar profile to some of these guys as well over there. So these are good options. If you did go for Manu Kone, and that one turns out to be an option, you're looking at pretty much what Ederson offered you in that respect as well. You know, a player who passes, who is decently combative and all of that, but obviously the risk is coming from a different league where these are all in the Premier League right now. The risk was the same as it was with Ederson in that sense. You factor in the potential injuries, and I'm not sure. The other names that I had on there, you take someone like Camavinga, Real Madrid, obviously with Tchouaméni staying. Camavinga on paper represents a player who seemingly can do it all. Is very similar in some sense, but there's risk there from an injury perspective as well. In fact, well, anyway, Kone had more injuries than Camavinga last season, but that's neither here nor there. And then you have who else is there left beyond that? Then you have like a Buwadi, right? And you take a Buwadi and you're talking about another player probably in a similar scope to a João Gomes, a player who's good in the pass and the carry, a strong defender, but is definitely more of a sitter. You got Sander Berg in here. Start removing some names so we can see what people look like. Sander Berg represents a similar player to Santos for me. He's going to sit deep. He's a good passer through the lines. He's a bit better on the dribble. He's a bit taller, but he's also even slower and is not as much of a dueler as Santos is. But he is a good passer, you know. But I feel you already have that in Andre Santos. In my opinion, you already have what you would get for Sander Berg. That's why, for me, he's not the right choice at this point in time. So there's a lot of options here, and it just depends on the way that it goes. Then you have to factor this in. Kobe Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes and go, well, what does the midfield look like? Well, this looks really good, okay? Right here. If you look at Kobe, Bruno, you're getting the carrying, you're getting the forward progressions, you're getting the attacking. What you really need is all of this. That's why Santos makes sense. However, that means you would want two more things. Do you see what we're missing yet? If I factor all of this in, what are we missing? We only have with Santos one guy who can win the ball, and we have nobody to replace the Kobe kind of box to box. So in that sense, one could say, yeah, something like this could make sense as well. Kone and Alex Scott, we remove these two. Is it enough ball winning? I'm not sure. So point being, and I'm not listing Sangare because we have no links to him. I know why. I know people like Sangare. I get it. I understand you. I'm here for you in this dark time, but we have no links to the player. If a link shows up, we've got links. I like Alex Scott because of the athleticism as well, personally.
They need a fast passer to play with Kobe and a fast, combative carrier to play with Santosimo.
Right. We need two combative. If you want to actually look at what we need, what we're lacking, we need two combative eights. What does that mean? When I say a combative eight, let's pull this back, okay? Into the weakness. We need someone who offers this and some of this. And I know everything isn't on a stat sheet. But in theory, this is what we need, is a João Gomes. In theory, this is what we need, is an Alex Scott. We need combative eights. That's why these ones make the most sense to me, and there's other options in there. That's where I am at. So there's other choices, there's other options. Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes, right? I don't think we're anywhere near a deal for Bruno Guimaraes. Bruno Guimaraes is more like is a combative 8/10-ish type of player. There's also a world you have to think about where you move beyond Bruno in the future, and you have to think with that too. Later on for what we're building. So that's where I'm at. There's also Baleba, right? We throw Baleba on there. Statistically, it looks kind of like crap at the moment, but I think a lot of people probably believe in his potential still. But man, it's chaotic. Excuses. Every transfer window, you have excuses for them. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means. They had a great transfer window last summer. So what do you mean about excuses? Well, I don't need to make excuses. They had a great transfer window last summer. It's like, what are you rewriting history for? Who made excuses last summer? They had a great transfer window last summer. I mean excuses. Yeah, I saw Gomes versus Liverpool. It looked like João Neves. It did look really, really good. But yeah, the time is important. I'm happy with Santos in, but we do need more midfielders in quick. How does Buwadi look like alongside Bruno and Mainoo? Probably a nice balance here. I do think we need one more guy who can be almost a sitter in there. But I also know that can be Gomes as well. You see? Like statistically offering those high ball winning, dueling, and kind of good on the ball. So either, Buwadi represents, and Baleba too. So here's I guess what I'm saying, right? Remove these guys from the equation so you can see it. One of these three makes sense to me. Not two. One of these three makes sense to me. Very expensive, affordable. That's why I think it'll get done. Or that's why I think it's more likely at this point in time, right? One of those three. Then you've got, as a different profile, who are the other names here? I mean, I just throw on a couple of them here, right? And then you have Tyler Adams, who you also add to that equation, that I don't think we'll get, but you have Tyler Adams. Kamavinga being, you know, this big risk and not in the Premier League. I understand his stats kind of throw a whole wrench in things. I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, like, as an example, like, I don't see another player. The stats really don't tell it. I'm not sure who the other player alternative to Alex Scott even is at this point. There's not really free agents that I've seen that make a lot of sense. Gomes gives us someone who could play in place of both Menu and Santos. If you look at how he's played, and he has the Premier League experience. Rabiot, he's like Alex Scott heavy. Wharton's not combative enough for what they're looking for. Height is a consideration. That's the downside of Gomes. That's why, again, it's not that easy to replace the idea of Ederson. Because it's like, well, wait, hold on a sec. Bergvall statistically looks dreadful, by the way, even though I understand, I like the player. If you look at here, it's kind of crazy, actually, if you look at this. Like, if you look at Bergvall from last year versus the year before, yeah, he looks like a player that could grow into the type that we're talking about. But yeah, Gomes is short. That's a concern. That's a concern. Gomes is only 25. As well. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it makes sense. For me, of the names we know, Gomes and Scott make the most sense. They give us potential Prem experience, you know. But yeah, it's worry because we don't know on either one. We don't know on either one right now what is next. We're waiting for that next breakthrough. Kind of like a few days ago when I was saying, hey, like, I know we've done a ton of the groundwork. Where's the story? And then Ornstein, bam, Santos is done. I feel like we're going to get something like that on a different midfielder. I feel like we could get someone like that on a different midfielder. Nemecha, yes. So good call on that, by the way. Nemecha also fits the kind of combative midfielder role. There's one other random name, which is Kefren Taram, but I'm not sure we would be going for one of those guys. High possession teams. That's why their possessions one is low, by the way. But yeah, those are two other ones that are sort of on the sort of outside looking in as potential options that one could see. Yeah. Chima. I'm really only looking at guys we've been linked with in general. Sadiki, right, Lexi? Yeah, Sadiki would represent another in the Gomes, Baleba. I had one more name and I can't remember it. Gomes, Baleba, Sadiki. I feel like he falls in that bracket. So it's kind of like two brackets. And Scott is the best option for me, clearly, from one.
Andres?
I've not heard anything on Chima Andres. I've had people telling me United should look at him, but never heard anything about United looking at him. I definitely have had people suggesting it to me on numerous occasions. Oh, Buwadi, Sadiq. Yeah. So in one group you have, like, here, I'll just pull it up one more time, and then we're going to have to switch over to the England game here. I feel this. I'm not saying this is true, but I feel this is one group of players. Okay? This is my read on it, is that this is one group of players we're looking at. The Buwadi, Sadiki, João Gomes, Carlos Baleba. One of these guys. One of these guys. And then we have the other options. Expensive, potentially expensive, affordable, expensive, right? And then we've got Barrios is a name I brought up before that has incredible numbers, but I doubt he's particularly available. Amecha. Pull in some random names here, some big ones like Kamavinga. That's
you
kind
look
of
at Baleba stats from 2024
like
versus 2025.
24 versus 25. Yeah, for sure. I'll show you. The biggest difference that you'll see is the passing. It's funny because he was still a very good dueler, but he didn't have as much to his game last year. He had a much more defensive prowess, but the carries forward and the forward passing dropped off an absolute cliff. So, yeah, those are kind of the groupings that I see in the team overall. Let's get this. Make this a little bigger even. I'm using a different one just because my other one was kind of bugging out on me. Just so everybody knows, we're watching Norway. We're definitely going to watch this Norway versus England game. Very, very intrigued by this one. Very intrigued by this one. We'll obviously keep yapping, but. And then Berg, right? Berg would fall into that other category of sixes, but he's older as well. There's a lot of, actually, funnily enough, like there's a ton of guys for that six. I just don't think we want one. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about the way that we've approached things so far, we were looking at Ederson, Santos. Do we want a six?
Baleba change could be due to a system change.
Sure, could well be as well. Yeah, it was more for Ruben, where he needed a bit more ground coverage in the two. Maybe he was even going to continue with him next to Bruno, you know? So, yeah, there might have been a bit of more emphasis on a certain type of player. Very possible. Very, very possible. Which category would Kone be in? He would be in the second, like maybe like a Scott Well, but then again, what if we don't want any of those sixes? We still need that combative 8, you know? Aerial stats, yeah, you'd have to dig into that. I do want to say that Gomes is not tall. He's not bad in the air for his height, like at all. In fact, his numbers are decent, but they're not great. That would be a concern. Yeah, Baleba struggled as he was played as a 6 instead of an 8. He does actually work better as a combative 8. We're going to have a moment of silence here for the South African player who passed away after this, who was playing in this tournament.
What happened to that Seville player we was linked to think his name was a Goom?
The Jimmy Seville player. I never heard anything on those links, by the way. Or you threw me there. I never heard anything on those links myself on Agume. There was a whole bunch of people talking about it, and I never heard anything in terms of actual action on it. So I have no information in any direction as to the potential for Agume. I have nothing on that one. I didn't when it first came up. I said I don't know anything about this. I have not heard we're going for this player. I've seen some of the links brought back up again, but it's not one on my radar. at all. Personally. Kone and Agume. Kone is one that I do know we scouted in years past, but we had passed up on for a multitude of reasons, as did a few others. So that one is a little more plausible to me. Agume is one I've never, honestly, I don't know everything. I personally have never heard. It's always likely to even possible that, somebody comes in, people come in that are not even slightly on our radar. But, okay, game's kicking off now. Yeah, I saw that's really definitely very sad about the South African player who passed away. Very awful stuff, man. Scott is good, and Scott is good at everything. I think Scott, I really, really, really firmly believe Alex Scott is a player who's going to really, really take off in people's view. For sure. I think people will see, next season he's set to take a really big leap.
I just don't want them to ever play Manu as the 6. I think he's too
They
slow
won't.
and not good enough of a passer to be a 6.
I think that's the whole point, yeah. Well, let's see this one. This is a crazy, I think this is a really exciting game, to be honest. England in attack already. Terrible cross. I seriously, I look at Alex Scott and he's one of those guys I'm just like, I don't do this often, and it's like he's not like this under the radar tactical pick, you know what I mean? So I'm not claiming that. I don't even think it's a hipster one. To me, he just literally looks like Ederson last year. Declan Rice when he was 50 million. Where I'm just going, it's obvious. It's just obvious where he's going to be. And I heard the same concerns about him that I heard about Declan Rice back in the day. Things like can't pass, doesn't pass well. But Declan Rice showed a lot of the similar characteristics in terms of carrying his. He was a bit more defensive, but when you see a player who's so technically sound in a lot of his actions, has the long pass, things like that I think you can predict their growth pattern and say, yeah, if they're already that technically proficient at these types of things in the Premier League, more will come. And when they have the athleticism with it, you just know they're going to grow. And that's how I see Alex Scott. He's just so obviously going to get better, is what it looks like to me. Obviously, development isn't always exactly guaranteed, but yeah, I'd be quite satisfied with Scott and Gomes as well myself. Very much so. Hard to believe Norway are the 31st ranked team, by the way. How good they are. Housen hates Scott. I'm very confused by Steve's view on midfielders this summer. I was very confused by his negativity over Santos. Who does he like? Because I have very different opinions to Housen, but I also know him, and I don't think he's got bad intentions. So I'm curious who he likes. Flex doesn't like Santos either. Hates the idea of him. I gotta have a word with these guys, man. Tonali and Anderson. I did rate Tonali. I was one of the people who also rate Tonali, but wow, Kane is so deep here. Like Stiller, ugh. I actually think Angelo Stiller's a really good player. What I've seen him, I'm like, wow, that's a good player who totally should not come to the Premier League ever if he wants to stay being viewed as a good player forever. Stevenhausen from Stretford Paddock. Chua Anderson, tier 1. Tonali Fernandez, tier 2. And everyone else, tier 3. I just, yeah, the Mateus one. Ooh. The Mateus one is always going to be where there's a big gap between me and other people because I like Mateus. I never, ever, ever saw Mateus as better than like every other option. I've always felt he's really, really got some big, big weaknesses that people aren't seeing. But I've had a huge, huge disagreement with so many other creators of the Casemiro thing, so it doesn't surprise me. They've been away from my positivity for too long. I know. I gotta get them back on with me, and I really do. I gotta sort them out. They need to be assist me in being a bastion of common sense. Yeah, Mateus is a good midfielder, and he's a good young midfielder, and he's just that exactly. That's how I see it. Madueke offside. Surprise, surprise. England not doing poorly here. I mean, kind of looks like a lot of their games so far. And Madueke, man. Am I 100% confident? I'm not 100% confident in anything when it comes to United. I was 100% confident. I was 99% confident we were going to get 3 when we had Santos and Ederson on. Now, we'll see, man. We will see. I think the intention is to get 3. Oh. Norway had a chance there. That was better than it looked, honestly. Wow, that's quite good from Jude. Do I hear anything on Scott? Yes. I'm telling you, they did a bunch of work on it over the last few weeks to continue to have contact with him. He's rejected contracts. He's been in touch with them. I just, they don't want to go and just say, okay, we're just going to make an offer to Bournemouth when Bournemouth have not given any sort of indication of any kind to Scott's people that they would even consider an offer. I think it's just been waiting for him to come back. Does that mean it's guaranteed to move to the next phase where we make an offer? No. But I feel it's just been waiting for that, which is just happening. You know what I mean? Like that's just like now the next couple of days, those conversations in person, players returning, you really get a better feel for where things are at. I know we made offers for Mbumo before he went back, but in essence, it was totally stalled where Brentford were like, nah, we're just not even going to sell until he went back, and then things changed. So that's kind of where I'm at, is I feel it's sort of sitting in that same situation as it was with Mbumo around this time last year. Well, not exactly the same, mind you. Not exactly the same. Don't get me wrong. Because we were deeper in the discussions by then, but still. Norway are big, man, but they're attacking a little isolated here. A little cagey at the start. Maybe trying to be dangerous on the break. How long do we wait? We need the next signing needs to be well in progress within the next few days. By early to mid next week, we need to know what we're doing next. It doesn't have to be done. I'm not, we just need to know what's actually moving next. Madueke handball. Oh my god, this guy stinks. Dude, what is this guy doing out here? Every single time the ball goes out to Madueke, turnover and possession. It's like Garnacho, man. Black hole. Every possession that goes to Madueke is just turnover. Both wingers stink. Yeah, I agree. Oh. Ooh, good tackle on O'Reilly there. Ooh, Odegaard. Slips him in. England have a good team, though, man. I mean, certainly in the competition remaining, you would go France. I go France above everyone, and then Argentina and England on a similar footing. Norway are just very tough, very, very scary, because you're always having to keep that eye on Haaland, and he can just gets the ball near the net, you just bet on him scoring, man. Chelsea want a slight profit. I think the Garnacho thing is so hilarious, man. Now he's unhappy with how he's been treated at Chelsea. He's not even training while he waits for a transfer there. Like, this guy is a joker, dude. How many clubs are you going to go through? 2 in a row, 2 years in a row. Who's going to trust you? There's clubs who will still use him because of his numbers, right? He's got this pacey, run by everybody, beat a man type of deal. But no serious club is gonna consider him anytime soon, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea push him to Saudi. What an absolute bum. It's still one of those ones. There's a few things that are just so weird to me. And I'm not trying to take shots at people in this point, right? But Garnacho is one of them. How the hell were so many people fooled by him? I just don't understand it. I've seen it for years, man, what he is. It's been so obvious, and I really don't understand how people didn't see it. But I look at Casemiro, and for totally different reasons, it's kind of the same thing. I go, how do you not see what is going on here? Big switch from Norway. England's press has been pretty good here. I'm just confused how anyone was ever fooled by him. No, again, for Casemiro, totally different reasons. But it's like when people were saying that Casemiro was playing the best of his career, I was like, that is such an insult to how good he was at Madrid. Yeah. Same talking about replacing Casemiro. We got Santos, we're already way ahead, man. Way ahead. We were ahead with Ederson. We're still ahead. Are United in talks with Ryan from Bournemouth? I have not heard about Ryan anything there. I feel he's going to be. I don't think he's being sold this summer. I swear I saw something saying that he was not going anywhere. Hall links are still there, still exist. Corner. Rashford stays. Does Cunha get a more sense? Cunha isn't going to have his role changed by Rashford being here if he's here. I don't think he will be, but whatever. They did get out of Yemi. What happened to England? In terms of those wide attackers, you mean? Yeah. Gordon Cross. Big defenders from Norway. I feel crossing's going to be tough for England to get through that way. Playing through the lines is probably going to be better than big crosses. Rice is going to be exhausted. Rice definitely looks exhausted. But Norway are getting... they're so big, but they're getting pushed really deep here, man. Yeah, you would think. Yeah, if we had asked for Adeyemi, I swear to God, 50 million or something. Hilarious. You know how it is. Can you imagine if we try? I mean, that's the funny part, dude. Someone was talking about, you know, is it failed if we don't get our first choice targets? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, look at Barcelona, look at Madrid, look at the players they end up signing. You know, look at who they end up going for. You know, you go, it's like everybody drops down on their lists. Everybody ends up with compromises. Sometimes the market just isn't there, and the best players just aren't available. They're not always trying to leave. You know what I mean? Oof, Jude almost scored there. You know, imagine all of that. And it's like, you don't know what's going to happen, man. You can't predict these types of things. Oof. Yawn. This is a little slow, huh? Game needs a goal. A lot of the England games have been like that. A goal opens the game up a lot. A counter goal by Norway or something like that. So funny watching Holland yell like, "Don't do anything" when Gahey has the ball. You'd have to think the familiarity between all these City players is interesting. I don't even know what's going on. Like, but I don't know what he's calling out there, but it seems like when Gahey gets on the ball, the trigger is do nothing, sit back, and then wait for it to go to someone else to trap them. But he does it every time, practically. Man, Norway are getting really deep here, though. I got to question that a little bit. Like, is this the right strategy for them? Does this get them fired up to compete? I don't know. Very slow. They're getting pushed back here. And it's not really a danger area yet. I don't know. Time will tell. Tournament football is interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if Norway score, then this gets really... then they're going to be really tough. But until then, you have to go, is this going to work? I don't know. How are they just going to wait for the break? I mean, very, very compact right now. And they look well drilled, but very hard to break down. But still, there's a few crosses that have gone in free. And I'm thinking all it takes is one little slip and someone's on the end of that. And then you're down 1-0 and you're having to open up against England here.
Watchalong James have a beer on me at some stage.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the donation. I will. You wish Holland would go somewhere. Yeah, if Holland went to like Madrid or something, I could enjoy him so much more. Here you go. Cross. Too far, but Madueke's on it. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, oh my gosh. Like, they're almost in here. I think they're getting a bit too deep. The wide areas are... they're getting beat on the wide areas here, Norway. Water break. This is where they need an adjustment, it seems like. Norway need to adjust here. Because those crosses from out to in are beating them at the moment. They could easily be down. Definitely could be down right now. Norway need a bit more pressure on the ball, I think. Just a bit more. Yeah, Holland's sister looks just like him. Yeah. The genes run deep, man. And spamming way too many crosses? I don't know. I feel... yeah. The thing with England is that a lot of their games have been like this. Like, they're not creative enough. They have a few game breakers. They're not creative enough, but then they're good enough that they can still kind of break through. Norway can't... I think Norway is setting themselves up to lose playing like this, though. They need to come out, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, they did better coming out and being a bit more aggressive and taking it to them. You want to run at that back line of of City, I want to say. It is kind of City, but it's kind of like City. You want to run at them. You want to attack them. You want to get after them.
Scott and Mamzambi for the midfielders.
Sure.
What's your thoughts on this two profiles?
Sure. Manzambi is certainly another one that's like, you know, there's a lot of World Cup hype, and I don't know anything about him or the reality of him being anywhere near United's radar, but I like what I've seen of him. As a concept, it's fine. As a concept, I like it. I have no problem with it. Combative midfielders. So yeah, so don't get me wrong. I'm fine with that. Yeah. In terms of concept, for sure, for sure. Thank you, James. Appreciate it. In 10 seconds again. This happened last time. Why is Jordan Henderson in a full kit with a broken arm? Support, man. Gotta work together. Oh, Madueke loses it. See, that's where Norway need to force it, is down Madueke's side. Then Norway are playing deep, but then they keep going backwards whenever they get it instead of attacking up the pitch, which is strange to me. I feel like you can't do both. You can't play deep and then play slow, and then you give yourself trouble here. Oh. Jude. Dangerous tackle. Dangerous tackle. Dangerous free kick. Who's going to take it? Kane? Rice? Here will be the opening goal. That's what I feel. I feel it coming. But who's taking it? Kane? Or Rice? You would think it's... Yeah, it's Kane, huh? The cut to Beckham if they score, of course. Of course. Naturally. Naturally. Madueke to score? Oh, Madueke taking it. It's surely, you gotta let Kane take it. You gotta beat a really tall wall here. Very, very, very tall wall here. Oof. Damn, he smashed that, man. Didn't get any dip on it, but he smashed that thing. That's strange. He tried to avoid the wall and just go top corner. Fair enough. He tried to go top corner, far away, just avoid the wall and just smash it. But that it didn't stay low. Nope. Madueke again, getting past so easy here. There, Norway, you gotta be able to move it a little more vertically here, man. How deep Odegaard is dropping. There's Berg. See if Sander Berg is going to show up today. He's just not very mobile, you know? That would be why I would still... He's a good player. Technically good, strong, but man, is he not mobile. Sander Berg is like a more disciplined Casemiro at old age. A lot like Buwadi in some sense, though. I think Buwadi obviously has more mobility, younger age, and all that stuff. Okay, Norway played out. Feels a bit too intentional here. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oh, there it is. Ah, they really... Okay. It feels like they could have crossed it there. Oh! That was a decent idea. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Not a good cross, that one. I was just reading something. Oof. Ansa almost lost it there. Odegaard chasing Rice, his teammate. You like Ryerson looks slightly scary? Yeah. Yeah. See if Norway... Yeah, Norway press a bit more here. Feel like they're a little scared to press, though. Oh my God. That was almost a goal. Holy crap. Holland was just not quite awake to it. That could have been an easy goal, man. That was a terrible mistake. Jesus Christ, dude. Another good press on Gordon. Oh, man. Holland was in. Oh, they've completely missed somebody down on the right. Is it Sorloth that they just completely missed? Wow, look at Ryerson. Damn, that was crazy, man. that was really close. It was almost disaster for England there. Better from Norway these last few minutes. Actually going for it a little bit here. Oh, good cross. That was well done from Odegaard. Good through the lines, I mean. Ross Holland. Oh, he's in. Oh. Whew. That was a moment. That was a moment. They give them one more. They've gotten away with a couple moments. One more moment, and there could be a goal in this. Oh my God, what a goal! What a goal! Oh my God, what a goal! Oh my. That's not a foul. Not a foul. No way are VAR going to take that one back. Absolutely no foul. He got the ball. Kane diving. Sad. Sad Kane. Sad Kane. No way is this still being checked. So it's good. All right, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I was gonna say if they were gonna take that away, I would have fucking lost it, man. This World Cup has been so obnoxious. I was like, get out of here, man. Man, Norway after the water break. Remember, I said early on in the tournament that it's not that I'm saying the water break is a good thing, but if coaches learn to use it, they can get an advantage. Norway have completely changed since the hydration break. They were crap, and then they changed it. They pressed, they moved up, nearly scored on 2 occasions, and then got the goal. The coaches that learn to adjust with that are... It's definitely, I've seen it change games enough at this point that clearly some have adapted well. Fair enough. The game is the game. I mean, if it's there, you got to use it. Norway used it quite well to adjust during that break. Will we see something different? I don't know. England have been down before, but Norway are much, much, much more dangerous than Congo. Another post-age. Yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot, man. It's been very, very noticeable to me. Oh my God, they almost scored again, dude. Norway are so dangerous, man. This Sorloth Holland, and obviously no disrespect to Scheidolup who scores the goal, but like, man, they're scary, dude. So physical. Madness. Another press win. Wow, Norway are really flying now. Here comes a cross. Oh, he spilled it, but he got it. Holy, dude. Norway have won the second quarter big time right now. Odegaard's been much better today. I thought he'd been pretty crap in a lot of games. He's had some really good passes today. Fair play. England are reeling a little. England are reeling. I noticed they've changed with Declan Rice being deeper and Anderson being more forward, which is actually a smart change for them, for both of those players' roles. But I think it's also just because Rice is tired, so he's sitting more. Odegaard should have crossed there. I agree as well. I thought he was going to wait for a cross to open up to Haaland. They need a second. Yeah, I think England, there's always a goal in there for England, so you need 2 to beat them. I don't think 1 is enough. They have enough with Jude, pops out of nowhere, scores a goal. Like you gotta get 2 against England. 1 is definitely not enough. We saw that with Congo. They thought they sat on 1 for so long. Oh, look at the pressure from Haaland here, man. Shoves Gahey over, chases down Stones. You know how annoying it is to me, by the way? I have to say, I've said this before, that so many of my favorite strikers I've seen in football have been on City and Liverpool. Like, from a football standpoint. Like, Aguero, to me, was one of the most joyful strikers to watch. If you just look at him as a footballer, he was like everything you'd want in a player with how he played. Obviously, incredibly painful. Haaland, Suarez, racism and biting and stuff, not included. But as a footballer, Suarez is absurd in what he could do. It's so obnoxious, man. Over the last 15 years, just how many good strikers, how many not just good, but like all-timer strikers have been on those 2 clubs. So irritating, man. Darwin. Don't say that name. Yeah, Torres. Yeah. But at least we had good strikers back then. It's been hurt even more. It's hurt even more because we've had crap in the meantime. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't had a good one during that period. That's why I was including those guys. Suarez and Haaland and Aguero, because that was during when we were crap. At least we had good strikers back in the day, to where I was like, they had good ones, but I wasn't like jealous. But I'm jealous the last 10 years of some of the guys that these clubs have had. Like, fully jealous. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. The Sorloth, what are you doing? Sorloth. Oh my God, man. You've got to... What just happened? Just turn and put Haaland through and give him a chance. That was so bad by Sorloth. Should be 2 or 3-0, man. You got to take a step wider, pull the defender, and then run. That was really, really poor, man. Really poor. Really dumb, man. Should have bought Cavani when we bought Lukaku. I mean, I really liked Lukaku. He could have been better, but he was very much tied to Jose, and then it just didn't work. Now it's up. Now it's up. Okay. Man, what a hit. Oh. Gordon loses it. Free Cobby. Free Cobby. Aguero's a natural United player. Yeah. You know. We almost had good strikers, you know? We almost had good strikers. Lukaku, what could have been still for me. Cavani, it was just too late, but I loved that season from him. You know, I still think Greenwood's future was at striker. Purest finisher. Oh, Jude's going to score. Yep. Of course he is. They let him in. You could see that coming. You let him off too many times. He's going to score. You could see it coming. Jude and pray. England. Yeah. Fair enough, man. He just runs by everybody. Norway can't mess up those chances if they're gonna beat them. Bad hesitation by Ayer, I think it is there. He takes too long to hesitate. Great finish. Do I rate Bellingham now? Like I said, for all appearances, I have to continue my shtick, but it hasn't been true for a long time, but it's fine. For my, I'll keep the shtick up. I have to at this point. I have to own it, so it's fine. Yeah, they should have been up 2-0 for sure, but didn't pass. I think you might want to get Nusa in there, maybe, for him at halftime. Get some pace running at England if you're Norway, but Norway hurting here. Bellingham, the funny thing is, like, he is very much like it's sort of an odd role where, oh, Kane's in. Offside? I don't know if he's offside, man. That looked close. Another moment. Norway caught here, man. Oh, he's off. Yeah, okay. He looked tight in real time. He's well offside. Yeah. Oof, Norway, they got to wake up now. England have gotten energized from that. Oof. Good game. It's opened. First goal. It's opened. The first quarter was very cagey. Second quarter, big time. Very, very exciting. That was fun. That was a good first half in the end. Norway hurting from the Sorwolf gimmick. Isn't he on the right? Or am I confused? Stop this quarters rubbish? Nah, we're going to keep it going. Gonna keep it going. Where Rice dead balls from Arsenal? Don't know. Don't know. England looked tired first half. It's just that England have, with Kane and Jude, England can score. They can just score a goal. Like, you just have to get that. But Norway have been probably better as a team, but they could have definitely scored more, man. They could have scored more too. It's a very interesting game. I still think none of them have. I'm not sure, man. France. I'm not sure how anybody beats France. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't want to think far ahead, and you never know. But sorry, trying to do something at halftime here. Wimps did a water break. I'm gonna have a water break. I have a water break right now. Hydration is important. Negative or positive? It's okay. Chat's okay. The chat was okay today. It's all right. It is what it is a little bit. You know? Shouldn't I run some ads during my water break? I think ads run. I have no idea how my ads are running, to be fair. It's all automated. Man, I still can't believe Sorloth messed up. He's running free with Erling Haaland. Just put the ball behind Stones and let Haaland run onto it, and it's a goal. So easy, man. A massive error. Good God. Looking at some still images from that. Man. I have not watched the Enhanced Games competition. Any word of what SGR is going to do at Nice? Got no idea. Obviously, they want to sell, but don't know if there's any progress being made. No big updates today at the moment. We talked a lot about who could potentially be the guy. Well, we tried to do stuff with Nice, but then we got the freaking transfer ban instantly. UEFA suddenly was transfer ban the minute we were involved after allowing a lot of shaky stuff. Oh shoot, my timer's not working. Why is it still running? Allowing a lot of shaky stuff for ages. Okay. Realized that my that was weird. Yeah, they're doing really poorly. Jude's been crazy this tournament. No doubt about it. Unmistakable how good he's been. You seem a lot in for Ederson. Ooh, that would make a lot of sense for Ruben Amorim to go for him. Make a lot of sense for Amorim to go for him, considering it's exactly what he would want. Argentina, Switzerland tonight. Right. Okay. I was trying to remember what game was tonight. Thanks. Man, when England play Argentina, well, they got to beat Norway first, man. They got to beat Switzerland. Both have had some serious scares so far.
Seeing many United's fans since yesterday celebrating the collapsing of Ederson deal on X makes me feel so bad. WTF, man.
Yeah, it is obnoxious, isn't it? Definitely obnoxious. Thought about it, and I don't think it's fair. But it's also like I said in the beginning of this video. After that, like nobody really knows. Like, okay, let's say it doesn't. It's not happening. Now what? We don't really have a clear answer as to what even comes next. What the right answer is, you know? Bob replaces Sorloth. Bob and Noosa both give some good options there. YouTube is social media, for sure. And trust me, it's bad enough. It's just, it is a little easier to find your scope. You know what I mean? Of like, who? Who's there? I post the Man United trip link again. It's below. It's below the video in the details. Yeah, for you, those of you here, filling this out would be very helpful. But it's below. In the description. Find it for you. There's the thing. You can definitely choose your path a bit more on YouTube and what you engage with. Rice and Madueke. Did they make changes actually? Saka and Eze for Rice and Madueke? Whoa. 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 What happened? Who got a... What are they talking about? I had it muted. What goal was assisted by the ball hitting the cable car? The cable on the camera? What happened? I'm so confused. I did not hear the earlier context here. I have my page muted. I'm gonna fix my timer here. Shouldn't be an England goal? Wow. Goal kick that England scored from hit a cable on the camera. Wow, okay. Okay. England favoritism. At it again. Yeah, it's out of play in every rule. They just missed it. That's crazy. Such a bad miss. Terrible miss by the refs to let that happen. Hmm. Oh well. Game is the game. You gotta win it on the pitch, I guess. They still allowed the goal. End of the day. Such a miss. Maybe they need a microchip so they can see when the ball made contact. I mean, shouldn't they have been able to see that? Yeah. Explain it. So I didn't hear the first part at first, so I didn't know what goal was about. But what the announcer said is that the ball on a kick hit the wire that the overhead camera is attached to, affecting its flight before it came down to an England player, which promptly led to England's goal. It was in the attacking phase of England's goal. So essentially, England's goal should have been ruled out because it was passed. Essentially, the ball hit something out of play and went to an England player before England scored. So it should not have counted, and they should have kind of called it back to a throw in or a free kick, essentially. Like, imagine the ball went out and then came back in, essentially, and you didn't catch it. Strange. Drop ball, yeah, something like that, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, VAR was should have intervened. They don't know why. I'm not being silly. Like, I don't know. They still haven't shown a replay, but that's what they said. Jude with the Gerard pass to nobody. Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. Oof. Patrick Berg gets beat there. Oh, Norway. Oh, terrible from Sorloth. But Pickford touches it, so it's gone for a corner. Sorloth is... Can they... Norway got to get Sorloth off here. That's a terrible hit from Sorloth. He's already, like, yelling about it before it even drops. Orloff is... Orloff, yeah, they need a sub Sorloth. If they want a chance. I want a good game here. If you get Sorloth off, I think Norway have a real chance to stay in this one. Terrible cross. Ryerson, this is coming right back in. 100%. Oh, Holland is on it. And Pickford with the slippy hands again, dude. Pickford, man. This guy just keeps smacking the ball out of play. What's wrong with him? What's Pickford up to? You got to catch that. What are you doing? Another corner. Oh my God. Oh my God, that was crazy. Oh. Hands are sweaty. I wonder, you think the gloves sweat in the humidity too? The sweat can go through the gloves. I do know that. I'm just teasing, but. Man, this is wacky. That one was close. This is danger for England here, man. Oh! Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Is that in? What the hell? Goal! This is gonna be messy. This is gonna be a messy review. This is gonna be a messy VAR review here, though. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Anderson does a dive on a Holland push at the start. This is gonna be messy. Let's see. I mean, that's a dive. That's a dive, man. Come on. He's onside. He's onside. It's the foul. I think it's only the Haaland push. I think it's a dive, but Anderson flops for me. Offside's good. Foul, I don't know. For me, Anderson is diving. He's diving the whole way. Yeah, they're going to call it off for the Haaland push. Yeah, they're 100% going to take it off. I think he throws himself at the ground, but it's gonna be chalked off. It's gonna be chalked. I mean, he saw it firsthand, real time. He shouldn't. It's soft for me, but it's gonna be chalked off. I was sure of it right from the start. Corner retaken. He knows what he's doing, throwing himself at the ground there. He knows what he's doing. You know it too, man. He's gonna dive again. Oof. That's off Jude too. It's a throw for Norway. If it's a rule change because it's before the kick. You get if it's before the kick, pushing and shoving, then you get a retake. Crazy game. We're now injuring players we're mildly linked to. Crazy. The United curse is huge, man. This is crazy, man. England have got away with 2 things from the referees here. I'm not gonna lie. It's a crazy game. I'm not sure how this is going to end. Norway have been the better team on balance, I think. I feel Norway deserved to win this game considering the things that have happened, but football can be cruel, so we'll see. Football can be so cruel. Especially in a tournament, man. Tournament football is just a whole different animal. Nice from Odegaard there. Oh, too slow from Norway there. The changes definitely didn't work, but they were obviously necessary for injuries purposes for Rice, it seems like. Well, it's not over, I guess. It's only been 17 minutes, but so far the changes from Tuchel did not work. Dude, Sorloth needs to come off, man. Sorloth's got to come off, man. Jesus, this guy's terrible. Sorloth winner incoming. You think my curse is gonna come into play here? Elliot Anderson has been completely invisible in this whole tournament, man. Still. I swear, one more change from Norway needed here. One more change. Ederson just has a long way to go, man. That price is crazy. I mean, I really rate Elliot Ederson, and I'm not trying to be sour grapes because I do think he's going to be a very good player in the right role, in the right position. But he's got a lot of room to grow, man. He really does. Or a turnover there. Oh, Kane. I thought he didn't hit that first time. Unusual for Kane. I thought he was going to go first time at that and get it. Holland's charging down Pickford here, but... That was close for Kane. They should bring on Nusa. Yeah, I feel like a little bit of P down there on that side to get him to run at England, keep them honest right now is what Norway are missing. Just a little bit of pace down that side to get some danger. Nusa. Oh. Apparently he's coming on. Yeah, Nusa is coming on. Good call. Bob and Nusa are the two options. Yeah, Nusa coming on for... But is he coming on for Schleuderlup or Sorloth? Who is he coming on for is the question. And Bob as well. Maybe both. Schleuderlup and Sorloth coming off. Okay, these are strong changes for Norway. Strong changes for Norway here. Oscar Bob is good. Yeah, Bob is good. He's dangerous. Very techy. And how does City have all these good players, man? What the fuck? And it's a match break as well, so... Okay. Fourth quarter. Fourth quarter. Cheating helps? Yeah. Yeah. Nobody named Oscar Bob. I remember when he first came on years ago and did something, and I tweeted something like that. Like, how are we getting beat by a guy named Bob? Like, pissed me off. Imagine saying Schleuderlup after 12 beers. It seems like it would be easier, maybe. Schleuderlup. Reece James coming on. Yeah, that's exactly right. His name sounds like it's like... I don't even know what it would be. Like Sheldon. Back on United, who we getting? It's the most unpredictable at this stage of the window it's been in a long time. Am I on? Did my timer change again? Every time. Gordon off. Going to a back three. Sheldon. Yeah. Schwarba. Something like that. Your biggest decision is what your Portillo's order be. Ooh, I need to know what I'm gonna have for dinner. I'm hungry. I gotta eat after this. I am hungry. Was Eze gonna go up wide? I don't know. James comes in the midfield or something. I have no idea what they're doing here. Here comes the press. Oh! Oh, jeez. England nearly bottled that. Good God. Another one where Norway are almost in. Elliot Anderson beaten by Ayer. I don't know, man. This Elliot Anderson thing. Is he going to win a duel anytime? Good Lord. This is a tight game, though. England, you got to be wary, man. They can score. Kane, Bellingham, they could just score, man. You can't mess around too much. England can score. They haven't been good, but they have match winners, and that's what changes games. Obviously, Norway do as well, but match winners, man. You cannot write off match winners in a tight game. Oh, poor pass, but they got away with it. Norway messing around at the back here too much. Too much, man. Got to get it up the pitch at some point here. And then you screw it up like that. I think they were too careful there. No risks taken, but ends up getting worse. England probably win this. I get this little feeling they'll score like right here. James into Jude or something, you know? Something like that is going to happen. Excuse me. Bob. Oh, he took too many touches, man. What is he doing? He took way too many touches, does Oscar Bob there, man. You just got to shoot there, man. Just shoot. Just shoot. Bob dribble right in there. Just shoot, man. Got stuck in no decision land. You're that far into the box. Just shoot. You get a corner or something out of it. Worst case, just put it on the goal, dude. Silly. All right, Nusa. Nusa, big cross. Holland. Oh, I thought he was getting him. Holland cross. Oof. Oh, man. Norway are pushing now. Nusa again. Corner. Oh, danger, man. Danger, man. Norway. Those are some scary attackers. Yeah, Bob's brain froze, man. He got in there and he's like, you've seen that with some young players. They get to that moment. They do it all right. They dribble, they're there. They don't quite see the angle to shoot and they just freeze. Sometimes you just got to know when to just snap, hit it. Another set piece. Let's see. Crazy game, man. Pickford punch. Shot back in. Oh my God, it's off the post. Oh, corner. No, hand. Jesus. Hold on. Hold on. What are they asking for a penalty for? I mean, that's quite a shove. That's a shove. I mean, like, what's the difference? Yeah, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference between that shove and the other shove? Like, what's the difference between the push in the back and the push in the front? What's the difference? That's what's so silly about the officiating. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a pen, but like, I just don't know what the difference is, you know? They'll hold on and get a late winner from Jude and Kane, or Kane. Yeah, I think so as well, you know? Something here. Yeah, you just feel like England will, after somehow not conceding, will get a late goal here. They've done it enough times that you just... It's tight. Here comes Saka cross. Kane. Oh my God, that was dangerous. That was almost the moment. That was almost the moment. Norway's still in this. This is crazy. This back and forth, man. I have no idea what's going to happen here. Each team getting chances. Norway's the better at the moment, but... What's Holland doing here? Offside, you gotta... I mean, I know he knows what he's doing. I'm not gonna pretend to know better. Nusa up against Stones here. He's got the pace advantage for sure. Cut in. Cross. Back post. Ooh, not quite far enough. Nusa's been a little bit of a threat there, for sure. Nusa up against Stones is a mismatch. Norway are going to try. We're going to want to get a hold of a few more times over there. There's no way John Stones can keep up with him. I mean, I know it's Konsa, but I don't know if Konsa can either. That's a foul. That's a foul, ref. Okay, that's fine. All right. Noosa's on it. I don't know, ref. Norway still moving it. Oscar Bob again. Bob again. Cross. Oh, he didn't hit the first. Didn't beat the first man. This is a crazy game. Oh. Still in. Oh my God, this Norway possession is dangerous, dude. They're inches.
I feel like the refs are like Albert Pujols' English nephew, Dixon Pujols.
Stop. Oh, this is a crazy game, dude. This is tense. Corner. This is so tense, man. This is so tense. Could Manzambi be a score alternative? If we target him, I genuinely have no idea about him. Not a good corner, that. But it's still in. Ah, that was poor in the end. Yeah, I don't think Sanderberg has even been that good this game, but he's been good. I haven't seen enough to say, oh yeah, I want Sanderberg off of this game. I like him though, but just a steady player. I don't know, maybe that is a good Ederson replacement at the end of the day. Just doesn't have the mobility to replace the idea of why we were buying Ederson. Wow, well done by Norway there. This game is tense, man. I have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, it looks like Norway would be likelier right now, but England have match winners, and if Norway can't get through, then you don't want to bet against Jude or Kane getting a late goal off a cross or something. Odegaard has looked really good today. Odegaard probably the player that stands out the most for me. Ryerson was really good before coming off. Oh, Noosa's going in. Noosa's going in. Oh, wow. Good defending from Saka back there. Bob taking Nico again. Knows him. So many City players, dude. Holy crap. Noosa. Oh. Got a shot off. Cobby winner would be wild. Cobby's not coming on, man. Come on. I wish. Spence is coming on next. I just feel England come down and get a goal soon. I just feel it. It's cruel and it's football, and it just feels like they're gonna come through and get a goal here. You just feel it in your bones, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It just feels that way. Does anyone else have that feeling? It's just the inevitability when you see a game like this where the underdog should be taking it. They're close. Bit of bad luck, bit of refereeing going against them. And then someone just pops up and scores. Bit like the Egypt-Argentina game in a sense. Someone scoring. Your bones are telling you it's going to Pens. My bones are telling me it's a Kane goal out of nothing. Or something weird, you know. I hope my bones are wrong because I feel Norway deserve the win here, but still, it's just got that feeling, man. One mistake by Norway here. And someone pops up and suddenly, bam, ball's in the box. Header. Norway have allowed quite a few really dangerous crosses. That's why I think it's possible. They've kept them away from the crosses, but they have allowed a few of them. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Cross from Saka. It's coming. There it is. I thought that was the moment. I thought that was the moment, man. I thought that was the moment. It's going the way that I'm thinking right now. My bones are telling me. Corner. Is this a save? No, it's a block. That was so close, man. Yeah, thanks, Jace. I appreciate that. This is it. This corner, right? This is the moment. That looks like a foul. Oi, 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 man. Rogers coming on. Oh my god, we were just talking about Suarez. Forgot he's in Miami. We were just talking about him. Didn't expect it. Konsa for Rogers. How many attackers, dude? Holy. This is wild. So this is cake. This is interesting. Holmgren coming on for, I don't know who that is. Suarez biting his kid's ear. Why did Tuchel call up Manu? For popularity points, probably. Or maybe just to call him up so he couldn't play him because he has a fetish for punishment and decided that would be the best way to make him feel bad about himself is to come up there and then not play at all. Honestly, guy's a weirdo. Wouldn't be surprised. Well, we've done well keeping that. This is crazy, man. I don't know what's happening. Oh, he's through. Pickford punch. Step to him. What are you doing? That was really weird. I think it was Odegaard. Oh my god, that was almost a disastrous mistake. That extra touch, dude. What are you doing? Imagine that's how England win it. Oh my god. Imagine that, dude. Do you remember when De Gea kicked it off of what was that guy's name? Was it Calvert-Lewin? It was Calvert-Lewin, right? Oh, that was the craziest thing, man. Oh. And just kicked it straight. Oh, what? This is chaos, dude. Norway look tired. They've let the ball bounce on numerous occasions. All these so many keepers have made mistakes. Yeah, it's really unlucky. Lamens ended up in a goal because, yeah, Calvert-Lewin was, yeah. God, that moment from De Gea, that was during that stretch where it's just like everything just goes wrong, man. That's how it felt.
Shocked Dixon Pujols went through. Glad it landed.
Stop it. Be careful. Kane. Oh, he bottled it. Never mind. Norway look tired. A few of their players, they keep letting the ball run in weird positions here. Norway look beat. I mean, England look beat too, mind you, but I think this is going to come down to someone making a big mistake, man. Someone's going to make a big mistake. We've seen a few of them. Oh, England's press now. Norway look exhausted about it. Just mistakes. Norway playing out of the back here now. They're messing around out the back a little bit too much. They're making too many mistakes. Going long is legal. They've done well going long, Norway, before this, too. I don't know why they've started messing around at the back too much, but how long do I think we've known about Ederson? Since the Brazil the first medical, so at least a couple of weeks. And yeah, I think we've been thinking about it. Yeah, I'm worried about this. I think England are gonna win it right here. I think England are gonna win it right here, man. One man up for a minute. They look a little bit fresher with the subs that have been made right now. Just positionally. Danger. Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, that was the moment again to Jude. That was the moment to Jude there. And he missed it. Everybody looks so tired, man. I have no idea what's going to happen. I think 30 minutes in, Jude scores that. 95 minutes in? Crazy. I have no idea, man. That looks like a foul. Rogers' directness and physicality will cook now. Yeah, Norway need the break, and they need one more sub at the back probably. But obviously, that's where it gets really difficult for a team like Norway versus England, is England are just going to have much more depth. They're going to be much stronger, although not necessarily at the back, because England's defenders are hogwash, but... But you know, the more subs you make, I think the worse it gets. I think Norway have made their good subs. Now it's not good for them making more. That's out. One more sub in extra time, yeah. One more sub. Actually, I think Norway have one, but they have no sub windows. That was almost another big mistake. That looks like a dive to me, man. Come on, ref. Come on, ref. Come on, ref. No, that's not a foul, man. That's not a foul. That's not a foul. That's not a foul, man. Relax. That's not a foul. It's nothing. It's just accident. It's just an accident, man. That's one of those pure accidental, like, they just feet just get caught as he runs by him. Like, whatever, man. Ref's got this right. Drop ball. He's got this right. He's got the right of it. Ref did well. It's not a dive. He's just running by, and he does get his foot caught by his foot. It's just, it's a nothing. It's life, man. That's just one of those moments. You just, nothing. Extra time. Ay, 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 ay. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Another 30 minutes. I'm never gonna get to eat, I know. That's how I feel. I'm like, I'm hungry. Tuchel. I hate Tuchel as well. Denied food. I might get a snack, man. I mean, I might get a snack. We're gonna get a beef with hot peppers. Oh man. Shit. Trying to think if I had. My wife just got back from grocery shopping while I was here, so I know we have a bunch of food in the house, and I'm trying to think like, there's something for me in there. Ah. Mm. $9.6 billion for the Seahawks. Good lord. That is nuts. All right, Norway get a sub. Hegum comes off. He looked like he was injured. Nearly made big mistakes at the end. Ostegard coming on. Got egg rolls and fried rice. Nice, nice. Oh, man. NFL prints. It does, man. It is so profitable. Like, hundreds of million a year. Yeah. Being sold to 49ers, like, related owners is pretty hilarious, too. Well, we still have one more sub now. Weapon of Collins. I know. The World Cup has just thrown everything off. I need to do it. And I said I was going to do it last week. And my days have just gone away from me. So I will really try. We'll have a day. I know this week we'll have a day. I know this week we'll have a day where there's not a game and we'll do it. Good God. Oh, my timer. Sorry. All right. So extra time. I really hope it's a good game, man. I really don't want to see a terrible goal for... Everyone looks a little refreshed. England look a little better here. If they can get that cross in. They've been dangerous. Here it comes. Uso away. They're not getting it out anymore, though. They're not getting the ball in at this point. Oh, why is Holmgren let that run all the way for a corner, man? Holland looks dead. I think Holland is definitely like tired, but I think he's also very much conserving his energy for a moment. But Norway have to get a little bit on this. But all these crosses in from England, I feel like they're going to get something out of it soon. Felt that way for a while. One of these corners, one of these crosses, one of these moments, there just feels like it's there. Clearance. Saka again. Kane. Oh my God, keeper. It's still in though. Reece James. Another cross, but too far. These crosses, man, there's no way. I can't see Norway surviving this. They look spent. And there it is. You knew it. You knew it. You knew it. You knew it. It was going to be a mistake like that. You knew it was coming. It was going to be something like that. Always, man. You knew it was coming. You knew it. Terrible. Terrible. Terrible and inevitable. Yeah, very similar, yep. You knew it was going to be a mistake, man. You knew it. The whole last 20 minutes I've been like, there's just going to be something like that and Jude will score. With all these crosses in the box and stuff, they're going to mess it up. What does Holland have to say? He's got to get the ball, man. They haven't gotten the ball in the box in anybody's face in a long time. Why is he let that run? That's so silly. Norway just look like they've dropped, the quality and pace has dropped off so much. I don't think Norway have it in them, man. I don't think Norway don't have it in them anymore. It is crazy. In fact, it is crazy with England how much like. But that's how the World Cup is, man. You need match winners, and Jude is 100% like a match winner so far. Best of this tournament probably in terms of key goals. Mbappe, obviously too, but just a match winner. Too slow from Norway here. They just don't have the speed, man. It's so slow from Norway. There's just no pace in it. And England are tired, but they don't have the pace to punish them for it. Oh. Rogers into Ayer. Ayer wins. Wow. Surprised. Yeah, that'll be game here, right?
Come on, cheer up, James. It ain't the States losing.
I'm not uncheered. I'm tired. It's been long. A long game. I just want to finish and eat now. It's been pretty sure that England would win for a while, in my opinion. That's a dive for me, but okay. That's a dive for me, man. That's never a pen. That's never a pen, dude. He throws his leg in front of him. There's no way that's a pen. Come on. Come on, man. That's not a pen. That's crazy. I'm on the hangry spec. Yeah, me too. I'm like,
James is hangry.
I am. Yes, thank you. Full on dive, man. He fully threw his leg in front of him to buy the contact there. I mean, that's crazy. No pen. For sure he's going to change it, yeah. There's no way. Game's not over then. Still going. I still don't know if Norway have anything in this, man. I mean, they've got, as long as it's one goal, anything could happen. But still, Norway have just not had any of the ball here. They've had nothing. They can't get on the ball. They can't get in the attack. They had it, but just they were very slow moving it around, not being able to get through the lines into the box. See if Nusa can run at anyone here. Holmgren. They need to move quicker. They're so slow through here, dude. So slow from Norway right now. They got to speed up the pace and attack somehow. Dig deep. That's a terrible cross. Man, dig deep here, man. This is it. There's no swim back. Like, this is it. Oh, Bob. Nope. Oh. Oh. Corner. Jeez. Yeah, no, as long as it's a one-goal game, it's not over. It's just Norway got to speed it up a little to put pressure on here. Every touch is too long. Set pieces. Norway just looked too tired, man. I don't know. It's always a mistake in the game, but... Crazy game, man. Absolutely crazy. Nusa's on the right now. There it is. Cross. Ah, way too close to Pickford. Good night, Marcus. Have a good one, buddy. This is a crazy game. Three minutes and added time in the first half. Starting to open a little here. I just don't think Norway have enough, man. Anyone but France? Ugh. If England win this, I think I'll just be England supporting, but because I don't want to see Argentina, I don't want to see France. Not a lot of good options left here. You guys don't want me to root for you. You'll just lose, man. Like I'm not anti-England in the slightest. I never have been this tournament. I'm just not a fan of Tuchel, man. Just because of the things he does. It's just hard. It makes me hard to like England. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes me hard to root for England because of Tuchel and how and it just does. Like I just don't like him. And I think he's got them playing crap. And they don't need to play as bad as they've played. You know, I know they're winning, but like I feel like they could be so much better still. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll get it done at the end of the day. You know, it's tournament football is nuts, but I'm just saying, you know. Second half. Okay. Chaos, man. I can't like Spain either, yeah. I'll look for England over Argentina. No doubt about it. Like did Holland's coming off? I can't see. There's no numbers. Strand Larson for Holland. Oh man. Wow. Strand Larson's good, but okay. Big moment. Big call. He has been limping, yeah. I don't think Norway can come back, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Just too slow. Like, they don't have the ability to move through the lines quick enough here. I mean, never say never, but good play out the back there. Oh, Nusa's in space. Oh my gosh, that was a good cross. Now Holland's not there. Now he's not there. I mean, that's not a foul for me, but Norway's wingers don't get the ball. Yeah, they needed to put it in the box so much more. It was dangerous whenever the ball was coming to the box, but they just stopped doing it. They just didn't do it enough. It's very, very odd. Anderson diving again. Ref didn't buy it that time, but he did the time on the goal, you know? Strange. Let's see. Norway flooding forward a bit better here, but they're still missing a bunch. They still keep they're not taking enough risks, but I kind of get they don't want to keep losing and running back to defend, but they're being way too safe. Oh, that's a chance for Berg. Missed that. You got to get that on goal, man. You got to get that on goal. You got space. You got to get it on goal. Just put too much in it. Composure. Where's the composure? I have England trapped here, but... Oh, they've got England trapped. Good press. They've lost it. Yeah, they don't have enough players in the box. It is kind of crazy to me. Oh, Saka with a poor shot. He had him beat. He had him beat. Oh, terrible from the keeper again. Huge mistake. Another rebound. Another save. Jeez, dude. Norway just got they're just I think it's too late, man. They're making so many mistakes. Placement, indeed. Overpower. Yep. Yep. That situation for Berg, you're in the box. You're free. You have the chance to shoot. Just put it where you want to put it. Don't just smash the thing, man. You can still kick it hard. You're a pro athlete, man. Offside. Oh, boy. Late game athletic subs are game changers for sure. And that's, you see that with certain teams and they have the ability to do that. England have that. Norway don't. Norway have gone slower after Bob and Nusa. Bob and Nusa did really well. But after that, the subs just got slower. Okay, Dan Burn comes on for Jude. Is this the curse or will they keep it? With Jude off, does England still have it? Is he their good luck charm? Norway do not have enough men forward here. I'm just looking at the way that they're lined up against the back line. They're 2 against 6, and England are bigger. Like, come on, you got to get players forward now, but they're just slow. That's the problem. They just have a bunch of slow players at the back. Big and slow. I can't see them getting through this, man. I don't see any way to get through this line for them the way they're playing right now. Gonna need a mistake from an England player here. Can't see it. Worse. Okay. No, not like right. It's the line. Let's see. Oh, might get the ball in the box, man. Hit it in the box. Oh, they will not put the ball in the freaking box. Get it out to Nusa. Get it into the box. Get into the box. Deflection. Going for a corner. Okay, set piece. Set piece. They took too long. They keep taking too long to put the ball in the box, though, for me. Oh, and he's lifted it, man. These guys, if Bob, Berg, these guys need to get it on target when you're in that position. That should have been a corner, too. Ref's given the... Should have been a corner. Unlucky by Norway there. For Norway, once again. A lot of little calls have gone England's way. Oh, Strand Larson. You fraud. Wait, it's still going. These guys suck. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, man. I've accepted it. It's not gonna happen. That should be a foul. That's a foul. I don't think Norway are satisfied. They're just tired, dude. They're tired. They have a few players who are fresh, and the rest of them just look beat. They put everything into getting ahead in the first 70, 75, and then they really just burnt out. It's hot there, you know? I mean, England looked tired too, but they just have better subs. A deeper bench. More energy off the bench, especially, is the notable point. That's bad. Oh, he punched his own guy. You can't. No, you can't. He punched his own guy. You can't. He punched his own guy. You can't stop the game there, man. It's not a head injury. There's so many little things going the other way, man. Norway wingers are allergic to crossing. Yeah, they are. They've just refused to get the ball in the box on so many occasions here. There's no way, man. Norway do not have it in them. They just do not. Wasn't even offsides there, man. Every call, dude. Every little ticky-tacky call goes to England, though. It's definitely not going to be like that against Argentina. Definitely Argentina are suddenly going to get a bunch of the... I don't think Norway get another shot. Of course, silly. Good night, bud. Oh. They need to move quick, and they're going too slow again. Oh, Bob is there, but no, he can't beat Spence. Oh, he dribbled it out. Oh, he's given the throw to the England. Every call, man. Every call. Spence has done well, but that's what helps when you have wingers who, when you have winger or subs who have energy, changes the game. Ben's done incredible, yeah. Norway just kick it. Oh, they don't have it, dude. They're just exhausted. Not a chance in hell, man. They keep just smashing it up in the air, dude. Relax. You can't go backwards, man. You gotta move through the lines. They're so slow. Terrible, man. Terrible. You gotta go, man. Too many of these Norway players just not going. That's a foul, man. That's a foul, dude. That's crazy. But that's it. That's it. Game over. England deservedly do win in the end. At the tough game. But Norway, after the first 70 minutes, after not getting ahead, they could not handle it. They couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it. They faded a lot as that went on, man. They just did not have the stamina for it. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. Thank you for hanging out with me today. That took a long time. A lot of extra time ones. Enjoy your evenings, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow, okay? Have a good one, everybody. Good night. See you all later.